Hi.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
I actually missed it, so I was inside using the Wi-Fi.
Okay, well, we won 6-1. Just in case you missed it. Oh, okay.
How important was it to win this tournament? Obviously, with kind of everyone's eyes watching England's progress with the World Cup, obviously, in a few months' time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we when you go into a tournament, whatever tournament it is, you want to win it. But what I said also before this week, that we wanted to try out some things. We wanted to see lots of players, some combinations of players, and we also wanted to manage load, and that's exactly what we did. And we were able to, because players came out of the games really good, except for unfortunately Emily in training. So yes, I'm happy with this week, happy with the win, but also happy with what we have done this week and how we have worked together in taking the next steps in preparation for the World Cup.
Yeah, and do you think you were tested enough in the tournament? Because obviously, like we've spoken about this before, but last year, just in rankings, obviously the opposition was much higher. So do you feel like you have had a little test?
Well, in some moments we have been tested. So what you saw last year, well, we played Czech, very deep block. We played Norway in a deep block, and we struggle a little bit with that. I think now we're in possession, then playing against the lower block, we're doing a little better. I think out of possession we won the ball back so much, and we expect, of course, in the World Cup that will be challenged more against top level countries. And these countries we played now are just beneath the world top. And they're improving very much. Well, South Korea didn't know that much about them, but I know Italy and Belgium very well, and they're really improving and getting the game to the next stage. But we are too, and so it's. I'm happy with the level where we are at now at this moment, and of course we have to improve, and we really want to improve too.
Yeah, and just finally for me, obviously we've spoken loads over the last week about rotation and who's starting and whatnot, but. Do you feel like you have got more decisions to make after the tournament as opposed to maybe what you had 2 weeks ago?
Well, I don't have to make the decisions now. Now you make decisions for squad for the tournament, and for next camp we make decisions for April, and then after that players go back to their clubs too, and they get in a final stage of their competition or international competition. So lots of top level games to play. And then, beginning of June, we have to make decisions. So they're really competing. And I think we are so grown in depth, and we already were good in depth, that it's going to be really hard to make decisions. And I think we will have more than 11 players that could start. And we have lots of more players that can compete for the selection of 23. And that's really good.
Caroline Pankhurst, if you're still in the stadium, could you go to the nearest steward? That's Caroline Pankhurst. Could you go to the nearest steward, please?
Yeah, so I don't think she's here. But I thought I wasn't finished yet. But there's a big competition for selection, and I don't have to make the decision right now.
Thanks. We'll go to Tom.
Tom.
Congratulations, Sarina.
Thank you.
You said, speaking yesterday, that at this stage still don't quite know your best team, but that was okay because you've got time for the World Cup. Obviously, that was quite a similar team to the one that played on Thursday with Kira coming back after Sandberg. So, are you any closer now to knowing your preferred starting 11 if everyone's fit and available?
No, to be honest, in some positions, pretty much if those players stay performing as they do, that the chance of not being picked for the first 11 is not that high, or the chance, it's very high. But with some positions, I really don't know yet, and I don't have to know. We just want to really see them over the next month at their club, and then we come back in camp again, and then we have to make decisions, of course, again for the starting lineup. But there's a lot of competition going on, and it's pretty hard for us to make decisions. And now we also, a little balance in the week with the 3 games. Also, how did the players come in from their club football? And some had very minutes in a short amount of time. So we tried to balance that a little bit too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Yes, Tom.
Just wondering, has anything sort of pleasantly surprised you over the last 6 days? Any combinations or players coming in who you thought weren't fitting in some way have actually surprised you in a different sort of way, or any curveballs?
Yeah, well, I'm happy the way it went. So what you now saw that, of course, we had like some youngsters coming in, and I think that what I said it the other time in the media too, that like when we played on Sunday, they played freedom and open, and they really already showed that they're very talented players. So that was really nice. Well, I said, for example, Laura Coombs came in. We were trying to get some balance in midfield, see how she comes in and what she does. So that I was pretty positive about that too. Well, and up front we have so many options with our wingers, but also for the number 9 position. So I'm not surprised. It's just confirmed that the competition is really going on.
Thanks, Tom. Yes, Molly.
To put a slight downer on things, Mary Earps looked pretty gutted that goal went in.
Yeah, of course she did.
Does that show how high the standards are in this England camp, that you're winning 5-0 at that point?
Yeah.
You're still disappointed when a goal goes again.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. For the standard is really high, and you don't want to concede a goal. And she's the goalkeeper, so she really does. As a team, we don't want that, and she don't want it either. So of course she was not happy with that goal. But sometimes, you could always say, what could we do better? But I think it was Don who scored a goal. I think it was a pretty good action of her too. Yes, and we should have blocked the shot. You can say all those things, but I think that was a pretty good action.
Thanks, Molly.
Julia from Gibraltares, Brazil. I wanted to ask you about the Finalissima. You're playing against Brazil. What are your expectations? What have you learned over the past few days that you're bringing to that game?
I haven't prepared on that game yet. I know Brazil, they played of course too. What we now do, we played 3 games, and we'll continue. What we did a lot in possession. Hopefully you saw that we improved a little more in possession, because we had a lot of the ball. We were a lot in possession in the last 3 games. I think against Italy, against Brazil, we'll have to defend a little more too. So then we put some more emphasis also on our defense, but that will come in April.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
As you know,
Hi.
on the cup.
Thank you.
And batting out the game to undefeated record. You spoke this week about the effects of the unbeaten run on the team's mentality in terms of keeping them believing in the way that you want to play. And I just wondered if you'd got a plan in mind for how to react in the event of a defeat. Do you speak to your players about losing?
I actually don't speak about that record at all. It's a lot mentioned, so you keep the data very well updated. So something, okay, this is where we are. And of course it's really nice, and you want to win every game. That's just the standard of this team. We don't want to win the game because we won, how many are we now on? 29. And of course, really nice. So let's play 200 games and win all of them. But that's not what we're focused on. We're focused on our style of play and how we can improve that in all the parts of the game. So in possession, out possession, in transition moments. And that's what we're talking about all the time, to make the chance of winning the next game as high as possible. And we know we're high profile.
Yeah, we'll go to Phil.
We found out today that Haiti are going to be in the World Cup group. Just wondered what your thoughts were on that. I don't know if maybe people might have been expecting Chile, but
yeah, I didn't know. I've played Chile also with the Netherlands, so I know a little bit more about them. From Haiti, I didn't know a lot, so I was a little surprised, but also because I didn't know that much about Haiti. So we're going to get lots of information about them. I find it always exciting to play a country that we've never played. And I saw the score, and I said they scored in the overtime the first half and overtime second half. But I still have to see some footage, and then we'll get prepared on that.
Thanks, Phil. Catherine? Same question. Anyone else? Yep.
Obviously, with the huge success of Lionesses, what do you think about the lack of female coaches in the WSL?
Well, there's not a total lack of female coaches on the WSL, but you want the amount of coaches more. Yeah, I think it should, and I think the FA is working on that too. That we should get more women's coaches in football, and that's what we're working on. So, in all stages and in all parts, you want more women in football. and that's coaches, there's also in other departments. That would be good, and I think there are things set in place. There are strategies at the FA that bring more coaches in football, and hopefully that percentage of women coaches in the game are going higher and higher.
Just to follow up, do you think it will only be a matter of time until we see female coaches in the Premier League or in men's football more often?
I think so. And I hope so. I shouldn't see a problem why women could not be coaching men. Yeah, I think that's a matter of time.
Thank you.